All right. So, first thing we're going to do is take a tour of the dashboard. Now, in your invite, I did send over a link to the handout. If that's something that you want to take a look at. I'm actually working on 2 different screens right now so that I can see everything. I don't know if that works for you or not, or if split screen works. I know that makes it kind of small on a lot of devices. Feel free to come back to class anytime that you want. We do this particular class every month, or if you have questions, if we go too fast, I mean, whatever that is, we just want to make sure that you're using all the tools that you have available and that you feel comfortable in them. So reach out to either Becca or myself, and we're happy to walk you through it.
Hey, Michelle, before you get started, every time I go to MaxTech, it kicks me to remax.net.
Okay, so what is your home base office?
Waukee.
Waukee? We may not be, Becca, I'll have you jump on.
Waukee is set up.
Waukee is set up.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on why he'd get kicked over to that instead of maxtech.me?
No, I mean, it may just, since he just logged on yesterday, it may just all be setting it,
Okay.
still all taking the 24 hours that it take, to get all set up.
Okay. Bummer. Okay.
That's all right. I'll take
But you'll be able to see a lot of it. Watch your screen for a lot of it, and some of it, once we pop over to some of the Remax tools, you'll be there anyway.
Cool.
So just, kind of take a look as an overview right now, just so that you can see where all the shortcuts are. So what maxtech.me is, this is our concepts dashboard. And so this is where things that are concepts and things that are Remax Central are going to live here. And so this is where you'll see news, you'll see updates, and it's great to log into this every day so that you can see what's going on. And I'll show you some ways that you can set up some shortcuts in the app so that this is kind of your one place to go for your business. So right now we are in the dashboard, and you'll see several things. The first thing on the left, you have messages that come up. So these can be messages from us. They can be messages from Remax Central. They can be messages from Remax. And so you can take a peek at those, see what's been going on. You'll see that the Zoom app has been added to MaxTech. We're on Google Meet, which I really prefer at this time. I've seen some security things come out about Zoom lately, so I'm still a little hesitant to use it, even though it's super easy, very user-friendly. But I still like this format. And then you'll see, as you go down towards the bottom, assistance. So this is your go-to place. So if you're new to Remax, you start here. And what that does is it takes you to Engage RE, and there's videos and a ton of videos, and then some additional resources. I'll show you when we go to Remax University, the new to Remax learning track. And that is going to be a place that if you are new to Remax, you want to check out. If you're back to Remax after a while, then you'll also want to check that out too, because there are so many new tools and new things that are happening that you'll want to take advantage of. You can ask a question or report an issue here. Search the Tech Assist articles. And this is a great go-to. This is your FAQ area. So you can search just about any topic that you'd be interested in. You search in titles, search in content, and you have a way to connect to Tech Assist. Now, what Tech Assist is your it is your help desk for Remax Central. So Remax Central is just the Iowa and Nebraska Remax offices. So that means it's a much smaller pool of people contacting this tech center. So they tend to be a little bit quicker than trying to go through Remax Global. All right. So let's go back. You'll usually see the latest Tech Assist article there, any product updates. So there are some Lead Street enhancements. As part of Lead Street, and I'll mention it now because I may forget later, is there is a Lead Street group on Facebook that is great. It's led by David Teefy, who does a lot of training for Remax Central. And Lead Street and your website are, it's awesome. They'll tell you all of the updates, give you some how-tos. And so I do recommend joining that group. I think it's called Lead Street and More. All right. Hopefully we're good. You'll see news on the right-hand side as well. And it looks like the calendar moved. Oh, it's at the bottom here. You have your calendar as well. So you'll see a combination on your calendar, although I don't see that we're updated on there. So these are trainings that are available. They're often webinars, even though they have a date on them. Most of them are recorded so that you can pop into them at any time. It just helps to get you into the habit of doing regular training. All right, questions? All right, so let's do some setup. So in the upper right-hand corner, I always call it the little fat head in the upper right-hand corner. Go ahead and click on that. And these are all of the places that your profile needs to be updated and all of the different places that your profile feeds to. Hopefully once we have Booge, things will be a little bit more integrated, but because we are part of Remax Central, we have tools that are Remax Central, and then we have tools that are Remax as well. So this will take you through all of the updates that you need to do. So we'll start first in your MaxTech profile, and then go to Connect Settings, and then go to Connect. And so this will help you see what your contact information is. So in this one, we want to.
Michelle, I had a question on that. I was going through and changing some of those yesterday.
Yes.
Do you need the Remax.net as your primary? Or
in this one?
Like in any of them, can you or leave your Remax.net as your primary and then put your secondary in for the one you want?
You can put your secondary in as the one you want. You want to keep the Remax.net as your login.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. So go ahead and set up your secondary and your mobile phone in that one. I need to go back. This is the one I always get a little backwards on. Nope, I wanted to go the other direction. All right. So in your, no, I didn't need to download that info. Edit contact settings is the little pencil there. Go ahead and put in your secondary, your mobile phone, and save that. And we'll cancel that. And this just gives you some different information, different alerts, product updates. It's always good to check through there. Client activity, client newsletter, MaxTech events, leads, listings. So this is where we can go in and get different things ready for this. But today we're just kind of setting things up, making sure that you are ready to go. Becca, I'm going to ask on this one because I feel like it moves all the time. Where is the forwarding for the Remax email. Wonder if she's still on with us. All right, we'll pop back to that one. But we do have a forwarding that we can set up, and I feel like they move it on me all the time. And so we'll go ahead and we'll go back to our little fathead in the upper right-hand corner. And we'll go to our Remax profile.
Yeah, it's in Remax.
It's in the Remax profile.
It's in the Remax profile. Yep.
Oh, it's the email delivery.
Email delivery.
Thank you. I always want to do it under the Max Tech profile, and that one just makes me crazy. So we'll start out with, thank you. We'll start out with name and contact info. And so go to Max profile. And so here's where we can take a peek through. Well, let's start with profile overview, even though it comes in contact info. And just take a peek. You can add your photo and you have your information. Actually, we'll add photo just a little bit further down. You may or may not have that available. If you do need to edit anything here, you'll go to the edit button under general info. So general info, make sure your name is spelled correctly, your demographics are in there, when you were first licensed, and that'll be the edit button that you can do all of that with. Next, we'll go to contact info. If you have any websites to add, you can add them there. Many of you have different websites, or if you ever want to create your own website. I know, Jody, you've got your builder website. You may want to add it there. Your phone number. So what phone numbers do you want to display? And do you want to display a fax number? I would probably say no at this point. But if you do want to put one there, you can. Everybody good? I'm trying to take a look at faces, kind of looking down at their computers. So next up is your photo location. So you can add a photo. You need to make sure you may have to have it resized, and just always choose one that's really professional. What you'll find is the more you fill this out, the more likely you are to get a referral from someone across the country, because one of the first things they look at is, well, if you don't put a photo in, yeah, how much business do you do? So making sure that your photo lives in all of the places that it needs to live. Your personal details, you'll fill that in as well. If you have a biography, this would be, you know, that little short bio, that one paragraph usually that you want to use. If you have not written your bio, that's a priority because you use it everywhere. You're going to use it on the Remax website, on the central website, on your personal website, on your Facebook business page. It's really important to write it. And I know that a lot of you get held back by the idea that, well, I'm not sure what to write and I don't want to be too boastful and, you know, it sounds weird. Better or done is better than perfect. You can always change it, but by not having it, it puts you at a disadvantage. So get that done and get that in there. Educational background, you can put in there. Civic activities are really important to put in there. Are you a member of any of the chambers? You know, what are you connected to in your community? Hobbies, again, it's just a way for people to connect with you. And then if you speak additional languages, make sure that you put that in there because clients or potential clients will search based on other languages. All right. Are we caught up there? Anyone need more time? Okay, let's go back to Max Tech profiles and let's hit that email delivery button. Oh, that wasn't our Max profile. Shoot. Under contact info. There we go. So that's where you'll edit, is right at the top there. And that's the email that you check. So if you are using your concepts email, that's what you want to put in there. If you use a separate email, if you're using a separate Gmail, if you have a vanity email that you use, that's what you want to put in there. So that way all of your remax.net information is being forwarded to that.
I have a question there. You changed the ISP email?
Yeah, the first one.
Okay.
Yep. And so that's where it will go. That one's a big one. I want to make sure everybody has time to get that one done.
Michelle, I want to make sure I have this right. So the ISP email should be the real estate concepts, and then the remax.net should be the remax.net.
Yep, remax.net stays there, and then the ISP is the one that you actually check. So it could be your concepts email. It could be, I don't know, Jody, if you have, Jody at dovetailrealtors.com or something, but whatever it is that is your main source of email.
That's what I have. So is this where the Remax they'll merge into that one? Is that what this one's doing? Or this is
it will forward to it.
Okay, all right. Okay.
That way you don't have to be constantly checking remax.net. This is that forward piece. Like some of you with your real estate concepts email, and Becca covers that in the apps class, you forward that to maybe a vanity email.
Yeah, can I jump in for a second? Yeah, the remax.net is, vanity is just a mask email. It's not even an email account that you would open.
Thank you.
And so what she's saying, they'll have the email account that you open and manage out of, have that one in there as the ISP, because you could technically have, let's say you have the concepts one forwarding to another one, you could have the concepts in there, but then it would double forward. And if there's ever going to be a glitch, it's with a double forward. It usually works, but I just like to stay away from double forwarding. So have all of the different emails forward into one account. So you would put that as the ISP.
Question on that. So does the concepts one then forward into the ISP one?
If you set it up that way.
And I think we did for you, Jody, but we'll double check. Are you taking the apps class next?
Today?
If not, I was gonna say, if not, I can send you, I have the instructions on how to forward. I can send that to you. It's in that resources for agents folder too, but I can send you the link to it.
Okay, I can look at that. I wasn't sure if putting that one there, it forwarded it, or if
it doesn't automatically do it. Nope. Okay. That would just be
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Cool. All right, we got that one. That was a big one. Let me close a couple tabs here. And we'll go back to our Max Tech profile. And so we've made our way down. And then all of these are all through that Max profile. So let's go ahead and continue down to the region website. Actually, let me back up. So that Remax profile that we just set up, that's what feeds to remax.com, remaxcommercial.com, the remaxcollection.com, global.remax.com, the Remax mobile app, Max Center, and Max Center applications. So that's the difference. And then as we go to the region website, this is what will feed to, let me click on name and contact. The region website will be your personal website for now. And then we'll see if, as we transfer to Bouge, that will change a little bit. So right now we're going to go to Lead Street. And I did see a little red message that that said it may take a day for Lead Street updates to change. I don't remember seeing that message before.
Where are we under now?
So we went to the region website, and
Okay.
then we clicked on name and contact information, and we went to Lead Street. Now we could have gone straight to Lead Street, but I like going through this page because you can update your information just in Lead Street, but then you haven't updated it in your RE/MAX profile. And so you'll have outdated information on one. So I always like to go to this as your main source of update. Everybody make it to Lead Street? Okay. So now in Lead Street, on the upper right-hand corner, you're going to click on your initials, and then you'll go.
Where did you get to that besides from the widgets at the top?
Oh, you mean the app?
Well, I was in name and contact info, and then it says go to Max profile, not go to Lead Street.
I think you might have been in the RE/MAX profile. So if you continue down, then you'll see the region website.
Ah, thank you. Sorry.
No problem. That's why we're here. All right, so back to Lead Street. Anybody not in Lead Street now? I'm going to take that as we're all there. So let's go to the upper right-hand corner, and then you'll click on your profile. And so this is where we need to do updates as well. You can change your password here. Don't mess with changing a password today. That will just slow you down the next time you want to get in. Account information. So if you have a custom title that you want to use, maybe it's broker associate, salesperson, real estate agent, realtor. If you choose realtor, make sure that you do it all in caps and use the registration R. You can put your state license number in there. It's not required anywhere for our state. And then don't worry about an app code. Under your email settings, what is your primary email? And so where do you want that to go? Now, we haven't been using the Sync with Gmail account. I've had a couple. I'm trying to think of who tried it, and we haven't, unless Becca has tested that one yet. We haven't played too much with that yet as far as syncing with your Gmail account. My understanding is once we move to Booge, that integration will be much better. And so I haven't worried too much about the syncing with Gmail account yet. Make sure in your phone settings that you have phone numbers that you can be reached at. Those are always good. And make sure you hit submit as we go. Next, we hit update account photo. So even though you may have put your photo in on the other, on MaxTech or on your Max profile, you also have to do it on this profile. So you'll upload your photo here as well, and it does have to be less than 350 kilobytes. But make sure that it's a good photo. I think most of you are newer, so you have nice, new, fresh photos, which is always good. And that's where you can upload the photo. We'll pass by the custom luxury website logo for now. And then instant lead acceptance. So this one is really important. So what you need to think about here is when leads come in from Lead Street, how do you want to be notified of those? Do you want to email only, text only, or both? So I think the majority of agents choose both, and you'll want to make sure that you put in the email address that you want to be notified at and your mobile number for text message. that acceptance is really hard. Now, some people do like text only just because then they're not seeing duplicates in their email. Some like both because you get a little bit different information in both of those. I would recommend both until you've used it a while and you've decided what your preference is. I've also heard sometimes if text messaging on your phone goes down, you can still get those leads by email. And then make sure and hit submit. So next up, let me know if we do need to slow down. Next up are your social network icon links. And this is something, make a note for yourself to come back to. What this will be is if you've got a Facebook business page, if you've got a Twitter ID, LinkedIn, if you've got a separate blog, etc. You can go and add those links in, and then the quick link icon will appear on your website as well. Don't add it if you don't use it. So if you say you do have an Instagram, but you are not regularly using your Instagram, you don't want people to be driven to your Instagram from your website if that's not something that you use. So just put in the social network icons for those platforms that you actually use, and then hit submit. So your agent MLS ID, make sure that your MLS number is in there. That one is a really important one. And I think, Dana, yours, I want to say, is different because Cedar Rapids uses a different number than your MLS ID for these feeds. So I think yours is already in there, but double check if you have a question. We can check with Becca on that one.
Yeah, I do have a question. It just shows it just shows what it is. I mean, there's not a different number in there. And I think that's been a problem because I had an issue a couple weeks ago where they said that my number wasn't in there.
Okay.
So I went in and I added my login, which is my ID.
Okay.
And I don't know what's going on.
And I think that's incorrect for Cedar Rapids. So we'll double check with Becca on that one as well, because okay. I think Cedar Rapids is the MLS that uses two separate numbers.
I think that's Davenport, Michelle.
Oh, that's Davenport. Okay.
Okay, good. Because I'm like, what?
Okay.
Yeah, no. The way you can check, Dana, is to go up to your listings tab in Lead Street. And if your listings show up in there, that means your MLS ID is in there correctly. That's how.
So my listings weren't showing. And so then I added that and now they are showing. So then I should be fine. But my issue.
Yeah, I wonder if because when we switched you, when you wanted to switch from the Iowa City office to the Cedar Rapids office, so that probably just because I know the MLS ID and that was in there before. You had that in there before, yeah.
Yes, and it was the Iowa City. So yeah, I'm good. I'm just working off the Cedar Rapids, even though I belong to both. Correct?
Right.
Okay.
Well, I mean, as long as do you put your listings on both?
Yes.
Okay. So then, yeah, you only need it if there ever were occasion you were only going to put it on one. Let us know because we can get it in there where you have both MLS's IDs in there. But
okay.
If you're putting them on both, then you just need one feed.
Perfect. Great. Then I should be fine.
Yes, you should be there.
All right. Somehow must have kicked it out when the office
switched
happened. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good. That's what I was concerned about. Thank you.
So do we put Des Moines area number in there?
Yes. So your matrix ID is the one that we're after if you're in the Des Moines area.
Okay. So what about the Iowa Association MLS? Anything go in there?
You can ignore that. I don't know why that's in there. There are some MLSs that are part of the Iowa Association MLS. That's a new one, I think. And so I think they're just because it's a part of the agreement that it's in there if you were to have that. But you guys, none of our agents have an ID for that.
So
you don't have to worry about that.
The number there is that 6-digit number that we're given by
that Cindy or Judy sent you. Yep.
Okay.
And that one is an important one because that feeds to a lot of places, including having your listings show up.
I have a quick question for Becca. Is that where you were referring to in the email that we had, the email string we had that you sent me yesterday? Is this the area that you were talking about, the MLS ID?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Yes.
It's nice to see it on the screen, isn't it? When you've got answers and questions going back and forth.
Well, I did it yesterday, and then I'm like, I think this is where Becca was talking about, but maybe there's like another area. But the listings do show up now at the top. And then when I went into that, my picture now shows on those listings. Whereas before it
Perfect.
was like rotating, or it would have like a different agent stuck there. And I was like, that's not their listing.
That's not me. It would have been your brokerage listings if you don't have any current listings.
Okay.
All right. So specialties, any additional languages? And when it asks for additional languages, that means that you could do an entire real estate transaction in that other language. And then be sure and hit submit at the bottom if you've had any changes there. All right. Feeling good? See, that's a weird thing with virtual. Everybody's on muted, so it's hard to tell if everybody's feeling good or not. All right, so we're going to come back to Lead Street and go through all of the tabs. So we're going to hit that a little bit later on. So let's go ahead and go back now. And we'll go down, and I'll just have you click on personal website just so that you see that if you do name and contact info, that's all being fed through Lead Street. So we don't have to worry about that.
Hey, Michelle, quick question. This
Yes.
might be, I don't know, a dumb question, but where are people looking up these profiles? Like you say Lead Street and having leads come in, where are those leads coming from exactly?
So those are the ones, if somebody just goes to remax.com or remax.net, and they're not associated with anyone, those leads come in that way. And then if someone goes to your personal website, they're coming in through Lead Street as well.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
So both of those.
Cool.
All right. Next up, let's go to marketing materials. And so this is Design Center. So if you've had any new listings since you've started, you should have started receiving some marketing materials. So we'll start with name and contact info, and we'll go to Design Center. So these are pre-designed, pre-done marketing materials that they're just done and ready for you to go, which is awesome. So you receive an email when you have a new listing. You'll receive marketing materials for a price change and for an open house. And if you ever miss those emails, because I think Jeff was the one that said, I've gotten a lot of emails, which you do, and you do get a lot of promotional emails as well. So sometimes that could get lost. But if you log into your Design Center, you can go right into your projects and you will see those already in there. So that's the nice thing. If you lose track of that email, it's not a big deal. But you end up with several projects that come through automatically. A flyer, a social media piece, I think a brochure, an ad. There's 7 or 8 different pieces that are done automatically for you. They are completely customizable. Well, I shouldn't say completely customizable, but they are customizable, but they are approved, on brand, and they're done by designers. So it makes you look very, very professional for very little investment in your time. Now, if there's anything that you want to create, actually, before I get too excited about it, let's make sure your info's in there right. So upper right-hand corner, and then we'll talk about creation, and we'll go to profile. You just get excited about it. It's a cool place to have your flyers done and everything looks good and makes you look really professional. So take a peek at your profile, because this is what automatically gets fed into all of these pieces. So if phone numbers are not right, if photos not right, that's because it needs to be updated here. So make sure your name appears the way you want it to appear, your title, your phone number. You can put your photo in there as well. If you hover over it, that's where you can see where you can remove the current one or you can replace it. You can crop it as well. You can put in your website, your email address. Again, if you want your license number, whatever it is that you want to put in there will just make it easier. And if you find something that's not feeding the way you want it to, this is where you adjust it. And then go ahead and save that at the bottom. And you'll pop over to your business info. And that's just to confirm your office address. And then your logo should automatically appear there, your Concepts logo. Make sure you save that as well. In your account settings, this just has a couple things. It has a URL shortener in it, which I like because it gives just, I always call it a cute URL, especially if you're using any print materials, or even if it is a social media post. Any URLs will be shortened and it'll be a Remax URL. Send email only to recipients who have given consent. I would say no, because that requires an extra step. And we're not required in Iowa to have consent the first time. And then make sure your time zone's correct and hit save. And then we'll go to app authorization. And this one has an important one in it. So under your YouTube account, does anybody know that you don't have a YouTube account? Because you do. You'll want to make sure and put in your own YouTube account, because here's what happens. Design Center automatically does those virtual tours, and those are videos. And where those videos live is on the Remax Central YouTube channel. If you want them to go to your YouTube channel, which I would advise you to do, you'll need to choose yours. Now, it may say it needs authorization, which means you'll need to set yours up. Becca will mention the your YouTube channel when we go through Google Apps. But just so that you know, I'm going to change up here. If you are logged into any Gmail account, you will, if you go to your Google Apps, you will find that your YouTube channel lives there. And so it's just a little bit to set it up. If you've never been in there, you'll name it. But the main thing that I will tell you, and I've got a couple because I'm part of the Concepts one and part of mine. So you'll see switching accounts, which ones I can switch back and forth to. But choose one. Choose one account that you want to drive all of your videos to. Because what will happen is if somebody's looking at your video and you have set it up so that it is on your channel, the next video that's in queue will be one of your videos. If you don't do that, it's just going to be another video for Remax Central. So it could be another agents from Concepts. It could be another Remax video or Remax not Concepts video. So set that one up. If you haven't set up your channel, make a note to go back and do that. All right, I think I just closed that whole thing down, which was awesome. So let me go back to Design Center. Hopefully that makes sense with the YouTube channel, setting that up. That was app authorization. All right. And the rest of these you probably won't need other than manage photos if you are uploading some other photos for different projects that you're working on. It pulls in the photos from the MLS automatically. And then impersonation is, that's if you've got Creative Concepts doing some work for you, they can do some impersonation. All right. So while we're here, just a couple of quick things about creating a project. You have all of these options available. And if there's anything that you're looking for, you can search designs. So one of the things I always search for is, for instance, like a just moved. If you were to put in just moved, you'll see that you have all of these projects available. So maybe as part of your marketing plan, you offer to do just move cards for your clients who have just purchased. The awesome thing about that is now you have a list of their friends and family that you can also reach out to. And it's just one more service that you can offer. You can even just do a video post that you share with them, or you ask if you can share for them to let people know that they've just moved. Questions in Design Center. Okay, it looks like we're good. Let me close a couple of these things. All right, so we've made it all the way through our profiles, which is very exciting. And now we're going to go back to our dashboard. So you can either click your Max dashboard. I usually just click on the Max Tech, and it will take us right back to the beginning. And now we're going to focus in this apps area right in the center. Does anybody need time to get back there? I see heads shaking. At least I can see heads shaking. That's good. Okay. So in the apps, we have a number of things that I want to hit. We've hit Max Center. We've hit Design Center. And so first off, mine probably looks different from yours. I probably have more in mine than what you have. If you scroll to the bottom there, go to See All Apps, because this can be your shortcut so that everything is on your main page. And all you have to do is put a little heart next to them in order for those to appear as shortcuts on your main page. But you'll see there is a ton in here. You can create personal apps, and I'll show you that in a minute. You have office apps, the MLS. We try to put all of those in there. So, you know, heart the one that you belong to, or if you have two that you belong to. Your Max Tech areas that you can go to. And there are some new things in there if you haven't been in there for a while. Your Remax apps, including AdWorks and Max Center. The Send Your Personal app is a new one, and we'll hit that at the end. Remax University, I think, is an important one to have. And then you've got your different MLSs, Realist, Showing Time. These are some things that you can access in other areas. So your Showing Time, your Realist, your Supra, those you can access through your MLS. But if you want to go directly to them, this is a nice way to have it all in one spot. They've added in the most popular CRMs. We're going to talk about Lead Street because that's the one that is connected to Remax and it is free to you. But there are a lot of other CRMs to use. If you're interested in some of those, ask around your office a little bit and you'll get good information. People always like to share what they've used, why they liked it, why they didn't like it, what they're currently using. Different lead areas that can come through as well. Your marketing apps that are in here. We've got Canva added into there, which is awesome. We did record the last Canva class. That was a virtual class, so you can access that on the Concepts or the Concepts YouTube channel. It is a great tool to use as well. Transaction management, utilities and tools. Becca's gone through and added a bunch just for our different areas, including the assessors. But we're going to go down to that URL shortener, and that's the one we're going to first take a peek at. So the URL shortener is a cool thing to use, and we've had agents who have spent a good amount of money to purchase a URL shortener, but this one is available to you. And it is a way to create a link. Instead of having those great big long links, you'll get that cute little shortened link. So that's something that you can use. You could put it on a printed piece. You could put it, maybe you want to put something on your personal page rather than on your business page, because in your business page, you get analytics on Facebook. In your personal page, you don't get those same analytics. So this is a way that you could add this shortened link. And let me try to find one that I know has some info in it. I think, take a peek at that one. That one didn't have it. But what it will do, hopefully, looking for one with data. I knew one of those law and ethics ones had some info in it. There we go. So that shortened URL that you use can give you some analytics that you may not have access to otherwise. And so this will give you, there we go. When you got your clicks, the referring countries, and where did it come from as well. So it's a cool little tool that you can use if you want to find out, who's clicking on your ad, how long it took them to click on it. And so again, it just gives you some great information that you may not otherwise have access to. To create your own, I'm going to scroll to the top of that. You just go to this little plus sign in the upper right-hand corner. And all you need to do is put in the URL. And the easiest way to do that is to open up a tab, go to it. Like Catch Des Moines is a very easy one that you can use. Copy and paste that URL in there. Call it, say Catch Des Moines, and then you can create it. So I did that with, I think, the Clive City Council. Let me go back to all apps. Oh, this is just my favorites. Mine wants to move a little slow today. I did Clive Chamber. And so you can see exactly how that one goes. Takes you right there. And you can edit right in the app settings. So it makes it very simple to have that MaxTech dashboard be your go-to. Here you go. That's exactly what it looks like to set it up. Questions on setting up your own app or shortcut? All right. So the next thing we want to go to is RE/MAX University. I'm going to pop over to my favorites. And this one is RE/MAX University. So unlike Concepts Real Estate School, which is our concept school. This is big REMAX. This is global REMAX training. And there are wonderful things that live in here as well. So there are trainings, some of which are free, some of which have a fee on them. You can do designations in here. Those always have a fee as well. But one of the things I want to make sure that you see is in the middle on the left there are the learning tracks. And that's that new to REMAX that I mentioned at the beginning, getting started with REMAX, because this will give you a ton of information. And getting started with REMAX, there's no charge for it. And it's a great learning track. It gives you so much information to go through. If you look at the bottom, you've got technology that you can go through as well. And there's a lot of good stuff that lives in here. So if we go back to home, maybe you want to work with investors. So you can see that there are selling HUD homes, how to beat your biggest competitors, real estate investing. And so it will automatically kind of direct you to some additional training. On a side note for that, if there are particular topics that you're interested in, shoot me a message. We have such a wealth of information throughout our company that, we're just looking for ideas sometimes for new training that we can provide. So just shoot me a message and we'll see if that's something that we can't bring to you live and in person as well. All right. Next up, let's go to Agent Insight. And so Agent Insight has a number of features that you can use with it. It is a very, in its smallest form, it's a very simple blogging tool, but it's also a way to make you the local expert. And so what it allows you to do is to choose a community. So we'll choose a community. And when we're talking about a community, we're talking on that micro level. So if you're going to search for a community, even something as big as Beaverdale is kind of big for that. But I use that just because it's recognizable. So if you start typing in, we'll choose Beaverdale and go. And this is something that I would recommend putting on your phone as well, so that you've got a nice shortcut there. And so you'll see the featured local expert that comes up on the right-hand side happens to be Brian York. The more that you put content into this, the more likely you are to appear as a featured local expert. Now, this does a number of things. You can use this for content for your website. You can link it back and forth with your website. And it also helps with your SEO. So there are two ways to submit information. So you can do a photo, which is what this first one is, and you get just a couple of lines that you can put in with a photo. Now, when you submit an insight, that I think is even better, because that gives you almost unlimited information that you can put in there. You can title it, you can put the information in, you can attach a YouTube video. So maybe you were at the Beaverdale Parade. I can't even think of which parade it would be, but you were at a Beaverdale Parade and you did a little bit of video. You put it on your YouTube channel. Now you can link to that. You can also put a related link there. So maybe on your website, you have a page with a saved search on it for all available homes in Beaverdale under 150,000 or, by price point. You can put that link on there and then you name it as well if you've added a link. So you can put a ton of information in that insight. And then again, you can post that insight on your social media. You can share that. And so that is going to help you come up when people are looking for information about Beaverdale. So just think of it as more that micro level. You're not going to do anything for like Des Moines. That is way too big. And so you can look and see. Let me go back. And you can do it by school district, and you can see who is actually using this. So putting it on your phone, I find, is the easiest way to do it, because you can take a quick photo and post it. And so it goes really quick.
On that, Michelle, can you post about more than one community?
Yes, they'll just be separate posts, but you can put in as many as you can.
So each time you post, you're linking it to that micro community.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So especially, representing a builder, you can talk about, really, when we're talking community, we're even talking subdivision.
Okay.
So yeah, great way to do it.
Okay.
Cool. One more place to put information where people can find you. Okay. Questions on Agent Insight? All right. So now we're going to one of the big ones. We're going to go to Lead Street. And we're doing really well, I think. Hopefully this format is working well for everybody. And again, we are happy to get one-on-one with you so that we can really go through questions and help you out as much as possible. All right, so let's start out. We've already done the updates, and we're going to go to My Dashboard. So if you start in your dashboard, this is your Lead Street dashboard. Now, a couple things with Lead Street to think about is, even if you don't want to use this as your CRM, you want to log into this at least every 20 or 21 days. Probably good to log in once a week, once every other week. Set it as a reminder on your calendar, because if you're not logging in at least that much, you are not going to get any leads. So I think that's important to think about. Even if you're not using it, you want to make sure and log in. So let's go ahead and we're going to scroll down, and I want to go to that market assignment zip code report. Looks like a little link, and click on that. So these are your lead areas. Now, something that we just learned just a few weeks ago is, before we were recommending, because you get 10 chances in the lead bucket, the recommendation was to just choose a couple of buckets that you want all of your leads to go into. What we learned just a few weeks ago is that you don't want to duplicate now, which I thought was really interesting. So if you go to, let's go down below. If we go down to this market area zip code report and just hit run report, you can take a peek and see where are the majority of leads coming in. So how many agents have their their chance in the bucket, and then how many leads per zip actually came in. So that way you can see a percentage over to the right-hand side. So if we looked at, so let's just look at the first two there, that 50266, there's only 0.08 leads per agent in the last 90 days. But if we look at Clive, it's actually much higher with 0.12 leads per 90 days. Now, if you extrapolate that, that means only one lead a year, basically, for that. But you can take a peek through and see where there are a lot of leads that come in the number of agents who have put their name in the bucket. I mean, if you look at high use, and there are additional pages there. You might want to look for a particular zip code, and then you can just type that zip code in and run the report for that.
Hey, Michelle, can I jump in for a second?
Yeah.
And this is why doing, I mean, you know, Remax.com has never been one to say, you know, we're going to provide a stream of leads through our website, just because there's a lot of agents that Remax has. So one thing they really have done a lot with is your personal website and the ability for you to customize your personal website. And that way you're trying to get everybody to go to your personal website, because those leads will always be yours. On your Remax website, those leads will never go to anyone else. They'll always be yours. So really trying to get people to go to your website is one of the best things you can do. So just wanted to throw that in there.
Awesome. It really is. It's about all of those personal relationships. And that's why that First IO tool that we have available, where it goes through your connections to see people who are more likely to look for a home because you've got a warm connection. That's why things like that are so important. But you'll want to go ahead and put in 10 zip codes, 10 unique zip codes. And, you know, don't put in areas that you wouldn't drive to, I would say. But there's no reason to duplicate them anymore, is my understanding. Now, that might be updated, but that was the last info that I heard from David Teefee just a few weeks ago. And then make sure you submit that. I'll give you just a minute or two to do that. Anyone need just a little bit more time? Okay, I'm going to go on then. All right, so let's go ahead and go back to your home tab, your dashboard. And I'm actually going to switch over. Okay. That way I can view as an agent now. So when you go to your dashboard, you'll be able to see, you know, how many contacts are in there, how many listing views, how many unique visits. Again, really great dashboard to be able to look at. There's good information that always lives here. You can take a peek through, see what's new and exciting. There's also business plan information if you choose to use that. But we're going to go through every single tab now, and we'll start with your leads tab. So we'll go into manage leads first. And some of these buttons sometimes are getting moved around as we're kind of moving towards Booj. We're noticing that some of the Lead Street buttons have moved. So don't get frustrated if we talk about something and you know exactly where it is, and the next time you go in, it's somewhere different, because that happens to us as well. And so this is where you can see any pending leads that might live in here. Any recent client activity will be there. And let's go into lead settings next. So across the top again, lead settings. And we have some important choices to make in here. So we have our lead assignment market areas. You can also set those up there. I like to start with that report so that it will help you choose what your areas are. Forward leads to another account is usually one of those things that you only use as if you're on a team. So if you're an individual, it should say do not forward leads in both of those. And then you have lead filter options where it asks send me leads on my website and my listings only. I would leave that unchecked because you want anything to come through, I would assume. And then send me remax.com foreclosure leads. So that one is if you do want foreclosure leads, you need to check mark that if you do want them. Next up are your client registration options. And this is really a big one to think about. So what is it that you're using your website for? If you're using your website just for information, because basically you work on referral only, then you want to leave it unlimited. You want people to get all the information that they would ever want without you ever asking them to share their information. If you are truly looking for leads, so you'd like a name, you want somebody to reach out to, that's where we want to start talking about how much are we going to give them before we're going to ask for their information. Now, if you talk to someone like Shane Torres, he's going to have his listed at maximum. If you want anything, you're going to have to put in your information. Now, some consumers don't like that and they'll move on. But if you're truly looking for leads, at some point you have to get their information. So a lot of agents will use this mid-level, and it gives a hard and a soft option. So what it allows you to do is after, need to check mark it here, after so many views, it will say, okay, now you have to put in your information. That little pop-up box comes up and it asks for their information. The soft registration is one where, again, after however many listing views, it comes up, but they can still X out of it and continue on. So the hard registration says, I've given you a little, now you have to give back. The soft registration says, I've given you a little, please tell me who you are, but doesn't require them to do so. And then you can also go to limited, where unregistered clients can only see whatever it is that you put in there. So think about what it is that you want to use your website for, and that's how you need to do this. Choose something and see if it's giving you the results that you're after. And if not, then you can change it. But don't just put it in for 2 weeks on a hard registration and say, I didn't get any leads. It needs to be something that you try for at least 30, if not 60, 90 days. The next thing to think about in this one is client phone number is required for registration. Now, we do have our virtual assistant that you can set up. We'll hit that down towards the end. And if that's something that you want to use with that text messaging, then you do want that client phone number, because then your virtual assistant structurally can take over and start out with those clients, and then you can jump in later. And then the last one is clients may register with Facebook. And so that allows them to, when it pops up, it says register with Facebook. And I don't know about you when you're having to register for things, but if you have to start typing in your name and your email and all of your information, me as a consumer, I'm much less likely to do it. But if it says go ahead and register with Facebook, click done, move on, and that still gives you a lead with information. So entirely up to you. It just depends on how you feel about it and what your goals are with your website. So choose something and submit changes. Any questions? Because that's a lot to think about.
I have a question on that. If you choose the unlimited, does it still prompt them for the information?
It does not.
It won't.
It will not. You have
what
to, in order to do something, you'd have to go to at least mid-level.
Okay.
Because unlimited, they can look and they'll never get a pop-up unless they want information, and then they'll have to put info in for you for contact information.
But you say from your website, if I put my website in there and I have it on there, like, is that what you're talking about? Is that website, whatever website you entered into your profile?
Nope. This one is just for your Lead Street website.
Okay. All right.
So maybe this one for you is just for people to look at, or maybe you do want to keep it really hard to drive them over to your personal website.
Okay.
Either way. All right, let's go ahead and scroll to the top, and you can see your listings that are there. So if you have listings and they're showing here, that means that we put in the right MLS ID in there. And under your listings is where you can set up seller reports. So I'm just going to click on one of these listings. And they moved it to the left-hand side now. But this is where you have a lot of information about that listing. And under reports is where you can set up seller reports. Maybe. Oh, it's waiting. Sorry, I'm spinning and I got very clicky. There we go. So this is the online seller report. You can put their contact in. You can also put your own contact in so that you can see it and decide if you want to send it. But this is a great way to send information over to your seller. If you do have their info in there, you can have it automatically send you a copy. On the right, it's how often do you want to send something out to them? Every week, every couple weeks. In this environment, for the most part, people want to see something every week. And then stop it when it's either pending or sold. And do you want to send out an email right now? Or do you want it to wait? So then you'll save that information. And then you'll see an example of what that report will look like. So the web activity for last week, for last month, the search result views. Now, this used to be just those that visited remax.com. I believe it is pulling in the Zillow searches as well now. So those numbers are a lot bigger than they used to be. And I think it tells a bigger picture. So it'll also show nearby properties. And so it's a great piece to send to your client. It's branded to you. And it's just a little different than what can be sent out from from Matrix. The other thing on the left-hand side here that I want to point out is there are flyers that are available as well. You've got Design Center, you've got flyers through here. You can always create your own. There's so many options. You choose what you like. And the only way to do that is to look at all of them, decide what you like, and then use that as your regular. Next up are clients. So this is your CRM piece of it. So when we go to clients, let's start first with the contact list. And there are a couple of things that you can do. So you can upload groups. Let me go into create contact because they moved that as well for adding groups. No, we'll start out with one at a time. So this is if you want to put somebody in one at a time, somebody you've met at an open house, somebody who called, you had a sign call. You'll fill out all of their contact information, including second contact information. You'll add contact. You can put in your communication. Where did they come from for a lead? And then there are two ways to group them. The first is your client classification, which you have 26 options, but they only get to go into one. So, you see some examples: hot, warm, activity, referrals. Maybe you're an ABCD kind of person, where they rank for you. Usually I don't see anybody use all 26 of those because it is like a one deal kind of thing. What I see more than anything are these email distribution groups. And you can create as many email distribution groups as you would like. And you can put the same contact into as many distribution groups as you'd like. Because maybe you have a contact who is, they're in your friend group, you're in a mom's group with them. Maybe they're part of your soccer parents group. Maybe they also go to your church. Whatever that is, you can put them into all of those groups. And the biggest thing to think about is, what are groups that I would want to contact with the same information at the same time? If anybody has done like Brian Buffini, he's got like 300 different groups that you can put people into, right down to what kind of pajamas they wear. So, how narrow you want to go with that is entirely up to you. But really think about what are groups of people that I would want to send the same messaging to. First-time home buyers, second-time home buyers, downsizers. Start thinking about that a little bit, and you can put them into as many as you would like. Where you create those groups is up under clients and groups, but we're going to go back to that contact list. And we're able to upload. Oh, here we go. Clear down at the bottom now is that import and export that lives here. So import is if you have a contact list already, maybe you have an Excel spreadsheet, maybe you have exported from your Google Contacts. You can import them all in at the same time. Now, one of the advantages to having your contact list in here is, say one of your contacts just goes out onto remax.com, doesn't go to your website, they end up somewhere else, and then they want information. Because they are already connected to you, that lead will come to you first. So that's a good reason to put them in there. You can always export every contact out of there as well if you feel uncomfortable with that for some reason. And this transfer contact is kind of an interesting one. So maybe you have someone in your contact list, somebody from something else, but they have a working relationship with another agent, and that agent's working with them, and they keep logging in and ending up in your lead list. You can transfer that contact over to the agent that they're actually working with. It's the right thing to do, although it's frustrating sometimes, but it's better to just transfer them over. Okay. Questions on that? Cool. All right, let's go to marketing, because there are great things that live in marketing. Again, there are flyers that live in marketing, but the action plans are the big ones. So sometimes you've heard these referred to as drip campaigns, but most of these are a little more realize than just a drip campaign. A drip campaign implies to me that you're going to set it and forget it. And these are most of these are a little bit more than that. So if we were to go to, let's take a peek at like a new client action plan. And you can see that there are 6 activities and that it goes out over the course of, it doesn't say how many days there. This is over the course of 15 days, so 2 weeks. And you'll see the first one is an email. It's the new client introduction email, which you can take a peek at. And so what you'll see, it's really simple. It's well designed. It will feed with their information. It will feed with your information as well. So it's a super easy way to set them up. And then for follow-up, the next thing is a phone call on day 3. And then on day 7, it's a market watch email. And then day 9, it's a touch base. And even with the phone calls, it will tell you what kind of task type it is. It's a touch base. How are you doing? What's going on? And it's very easy to add people to those, add contacts and groups. So if you would like, we can go ahead and set up your newsletter to go out to all of your clients automatically in less than 2 minutes. Do we want to do that? Or at least walk through how to do it?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Cool. All right. So let's go back to our action plans. You're going to go to your monthly newsletter. Now this goes out on the 11th. And I know it goes out on the 11th. I think I'm on Dana's list too. I think I'm on Dana's and Alicia's. I'm getting them from both of you, which is kind of fun. And you'll click the monthly newsletter and you'll see that you can take a peek at them, but they don't go very far. So for instance, if we were to look in October, there wouldn't be anything in there yet because these are, RE/MAX tries to make them very timely with what's going on in the market. So they don't do them too far ahead. So at the bottom, you'll see where in the blue bar at the bottom says contacts and it says add contacts or groups. So all I want you to do is start typing in all contacts and it should come up and you'll click all contacts. And so you'll see all contacts are in there and you'll hit save. You have just set up a monthly newsletter for all of your contacts that are in your database in here. And as new ones go in, they're automatically in the all contact group. How easy is that? Cool. Okay, when we're in person, there's usually applause and, angels singing. Okay. But super simple. Once, if you decide to do something different with an email or with a newsletter, you can always turn this one off very simply. Or because this one goes out on the 11th, maybe you also want to send something out on, the 25th, and you want something more personal that you send out on the 25th. Don't be afraid to contact people more than once a month. They will let you know if they do not want you to contact them. They can opt out. Sound good? I know, I love that. Just like that, you've set up a newsletter for everybody.
I have a question on that. So these are already created
Yes.
newsletters. Can you, are you allowed to pull stuff out of that and share that also on your website or Facebook page?
Yep. Anything that is available to you in your RE/MAX marketing, you can use it any way you want it.
Okay. I didn't know if there were rules on where you share that.
Everywhere.
Okay.
As many places as possible. As we go over to email, I do want to show you, let's see, is it new or email marketing? No, it's not the new one. I want to go to email marketing because check out all of these templates that live in here. Just so many cool things for you to use as one-offs. if you scroll through, I mean, every occasion that you can imagine, there is something in here. And these are also just templates. So you can use them as is, and they're quite lovely to use as is. Or maybe you just like the format of one of these. I know I just keep scrolling through these very quickly. I mean, Veterans Day, Happy Home Anniversary, so many things that you can choose. And you can choose one and then you can customize it. So maybe the subject, instead of Happy Home Anniversary, you just want, you know, Happy Anniversary, and it's changed there. The title text, you like exclamation points, you add them in. I mean, you can go through and completely customize this piece and use it as well. So that lives in there too. Beautifully designed. They're always adding new ones to it. Let me go back to that email marketing. And you can create one on your own as well. Ooh, even team templates. Oh, that must be something that you create, that you put under team. So great things to use in there. Kind of cool, I know. There is a calendar in here. I'm not totally excited about the calendar yet. I think the Boosh integration will be much better. But it's up to you right now. I am such a Google Calendar person. I'm still living with that and working with that. Okay, Site Builder. Site Builder is the big one. So Site Builder is your personal website. And I'm just going to touch on a few of the simple customizations that you can do. In RE/MAX University, there are, actually on the main page, there are different videos that you can watch for all of these customizations. And don't be afraid to go through and customize this as we transition to Boosh. Right now, part of what they're working out is how will these transfer to the new platform. And so don't let that stop you from doing it, because we're still looking at fall anyway, even before we have hopes of Boosh. All right, so Site Builder, if you start with collections and layouts, these are your basic templates. I mean, you have a nice basic website that's already built for you, but there are so many templates that just by changing that, it will make you look much more engaged. It can make you look much more contemporary. And, you know, when Becca mentioned the customization in these, you can pretty much make this website do almost anything you want it to do. So let me go back up. So you can change the template. As part of changing that template, you'll see as you scroll over them, all of the things that you can change on each template. You know, featured properties. This one was 2, this one was 3. Those are also commercial. If you're not Farm and Ranch, probably don't need to do Farm and Ranch. I find that some of the most popular ones right now are the persona ones. And these are some new ones right there. The quad is new. Blue Velvet, that looks like a new one. So you can preview those and see what they look like. All of the photos can be customized. The text can all be customized. It's really the layout that is formatted for you. So let's go back up. So you can also go to the site editor, and Becca just did a whole series on the website, and we'll schedule that again. But there's a lot that you can play with in the meantime. You can change your home page. You can add additional pages. You know, the interior pages that you choose. So, you know, that's talking about what's under resources and the tabs that run across the top, property searches that he has in here. I mean, start thinking now about what do you want your website to do? What do you want your client to have access to? What do you think is going to be important to people that you work with?
Hey, Michelle, I have a question.
Sure.
With like the property search, obviously with new agent don't have any properties. Does that automatically connect to the Remax concepts? Like those are available featured properties and virtual tours, or those are our own?
Well, the property searches actually connects to the MLS.
Okay.
So, I mean, it has everything on it.
Okay.
Featured properties would be your properties for those. So you choose what you want for featured properties. So that may not be a page that you do right now.
Okay.
So again, it just goes into, what do you want it to show?
All right.
So if you're typically a buyer's agent, then you'll probably take out anything that has to do with listings.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Think about what do you want this website to do? Because we can make it happen. And so whether that means sitting down one-on-one and making that happen, or, sometimes just poking around with it is really cool. And just a reminder where you see lorem ipsum, all of that, that's just a placeholder. It's not, well, it is a foreign language, but it's just a placeholder, and that's not what the website will look like. So if you go to Site Builder, and then also let's go to View Website, you'll see what your website currently looks like. And so again, what do you want on it? Search other people's websites, see what you like, see what you don't like, and what is true to you, and what is true to this area. So, I mean, you wouldn't put, pictures of, we really don't even have a lot of lakeside properties, but maybe you do Lake Panorama or something. But you wouldn't see beach properties. That wouldn't make any sense. So make it true to you. There's a huge, huge library, image library that you can use, and they're all free to use in whatever way that you want to use them. So you've got a ton to work with. There's also, make sure that you see the little show more, because there are lots and lots and lots that you can use. If you upload your own photos, just make sure that you are allowed to use them. If you took the photo, of course, you own the copyright on that. If someone else took the photo, you need to make sure that you have a release in order to use that. All right, questions as to how awesome that is? It's pretty cool. If you do have your own domain and you need to have it redirected, that's going to be a chat with Becca, because she's the queen of being able to direct that to this if you don't have a separate website that you're already using. All right. And then there's some training materials that live in here too. Some quick start, that's where it lives. All the quick start guides, and it will go through websites, leads, marketing, and then all the company webinars. So just resources for you to kind of go through, especially if it's something specific, interior pages, managing lead settings, or again, reach out. We're happy to work with you on that. Questions?
I have one. So
Yes.
we can link back to our own URL and then still have access to how you funneled stuff, how you just showed us how that funnels through the website. Is that correct?
Say that again.
So if you link your own URL into the site builder, then you can, how you were showing how you funnel things through there,
Mm-hmm.
Those merge together. Is that what you were saying?
They're not going to merge. So for you, you've got a separate website other than this that you're driving people to.
Mm-hmm.
So on this one, probably what I would recommend on this, and you'll have to kind of think about what you want it to look like, is either in your tabs, have a way to go to your builder website, because this is going to live no matter what.
Okay.
This doesn't go away. So you may want to use this as more of a way to get people over to that website.
Okay.
It just depends. I don't know if do you have an IDX feed on that website on your?
I'm working on that. Becky gave me the information. I'm working on that.
Okay.
It's a long process.
It is a long process. It really is. It's not all it's cracked up to be sometimes. But in the meantime, you can use this as your IDX feed tool, but still have things to refer over to it.
Okay.
Okay. My coworker needs to borrow my car. All right. So let's go ahead now and go back to, we've made it through Lead Street. So we'll go back to our MaxTech dashboard. Looks like I opened that up a couple of times. That's our Lead Street dashboard. We'll go back to MaxTech apps. And there is a new icon on here called Send Your Personal App. So you have a personal app, and I think, let's go ahead and look at it in the marketing tab, just to give you an idea. So if we go ahead and go to the brand marketing portal, it may be in your favorites. It may be one that you need to go to your all apps to see, but we're going to go to the brand marketing portal. And again, so much cool stuff that lives in here. And under that, let's start out with marketing tools. And this is where you'll see you have customizable videos through Remax Hustle. Has anybody tried these yet? Maybe, maybe not. Okay, you're gonna want to do these. So it's super, super simple to create your own commercial. So let's click on the go to remaxhustle.com. And you actually have listing videos. Community response video is new. So that has a personalized message. I haven't taken a peek at that one yet. Your customized commercials, tools of a Remax agent, Hustle graphics. So the graphics, you may have already seen some of the agents who use those, and again, customizable, and the welcome mat as well. But the commercials can be a hoot, and it's very easy to set these up. This is all the information that you have to fill out for a commercial. So your name, your title, what office you are, Remax Concepts, your phone number, your email, your personal website, and then your photo, upload your headshot. That's all you have to put in. And then you choose your commercial. So I'll let you look at all of these later. Some of these, again, are just a hoot. And you go through, they're just, what are they, like, this one's an 18-second commercial. 18? Yeah, super short. And at the end, it always shows your information. So very, very easy. Lots of them to work with. I mean, I don't know that it could be much easier than doing it like that.
Does this go to your website?
It goes wherever you want to send it. So you can put it on Facebook. It's actually a video, and you download the video and you put it wherever you want.
Oh, okay, cool.
You can put it on your website. You can put it on your social media. You could send it in an email. I mean, it's it couldn't be more easy. It really
That's great.
couldn't.
Awesome.
I know it's really underutilized, and you know, I'm on Facebook a lot, and I don't see them come through very often. And you know, sometimes we'll do a class, and I'll see a bunch of people do it, and then I'll never see them again. So you know, even if you did one once a week or once every other week, you could go several months with brand new videos. It's just cool, and they update them all the time too. All right, so I'm back under the RE/MAX marketing, under the marketing tools. We've got some Boosh stuff, which is coming. We won't worry too much about that yet. Some info on BombBomb. And then when we get down to here, it is not very well shown, but we'll go to view, and this will talk about your agent app. And so this is a custom app that you can share. And the reason I got away from the tab that we were in over here, that send your personal app, is because you do have to do it from your phone. Because if we click on that, I just did that a little while ago. See, you need access on a mobile device to use this feature. So you'll want to log in on your phone to do that. But this is an app that you share with customers or clients, and that way they can search on their phones instead of going to Zillow or realtor.com, or instead of just going to, you know, a generic website where they're not coming back to you. So this way they will come back to you because they're searching, and it'll give you some good intel. It's great to use. I mean, just think about once we're doing open houses regularly again, those people that are coming in, ask them how they're searching for homes as they're out and about. You know, do they have a simple app that they can use? And if they don't, you can share your app with them. And that way they can do their searching, and your contact info is right there for them. So it's a cool piece. You know, look more at, because it is new, sharing it on your phone. So we'll have to see what that looks like on your phone when you check it out. But a very important one to use. All right, I need to go a little quickly here to get through some of the rest of this. So we have that personal app. I'm going to go back to the dashboard again. And a couple of other things to mention that are available is AdWorks. So we still have AdWorks. Let me go to see all apps. AdWorks is provided through RE/MAX Central, and AdWorks is that creepy coolness that happens online when people start searching for homes in an area that is similar to your listing. Then they can, the ad can follow them around. So you get that, I believe, for 1 week, and that's through Central that does that. Let me find AdWorks. I think it's down in the under marketing. It's under RE/MAX, and that's AdWorks. And we do Boost by HomeSpotter. I think my Wi-Fi is getting a little slow. But Boost by HomeSpotter is awesome as well. Let me go to Boost. So that's something that Concepts does for you. And what that does is very similar, and it will, again, be promoted on Facebook and Instagram. And what you'll be able to do is go into your Boost dashboard. Now, you'll need to have a listing in order to for Boost to be a thing for you. And if it's co-listed, it goes to the first agent on the listing. So if you do click on it, you're able to go into your listing. You can see how many people were engaged, how many clicks it received, how many ad views it got, and you can see that it's company paid. Now, at the end of that week, if it's a listing that is getting a lot of views, a lot of clicks, then maybe what you want to do is go ahead and run that ad for a little bit longer. But if we go to the view, actually, let's go to this one with 14. That seems to be a very popular one. If you go to view, you'll see exactly what it looked like. Oh, that is a nice little home. I can see where that got a lot of views. And then you go to engaged. You actually get information on what people are doing there, and you're getting their emails. So you are able to actually export those leads. And in Lead Street, there is a Boost action plan that you can set them up on. Now, you do have to manually put them into Lead Street because Boost is independent of Lead Street. They don't talk to one another. But how easy is it to export leads and then just import those leads? And if there's only one or two, you may just do it manually. But take a peek at all of that information. These are new leads from Boost ads that belong to you. Isn't that cool?
Michelle, I can't find the Boost app.
The Boost app.
Is it an app?
It should be under your all apps,
Yeah,
and it's under marketing.
that's where I was. And under marketing, I don't have it.
We don't see it.
No.
Shoot me a note and we'll figure that one out.
Okay.
All right. So that one is Boost. The other thing that I wanted to point out is the First app. Now, this one is brand new. I don't know how much it'll show on here. It's actually free for probably another 60 days or so. I think the first 90 days is free through Remax with the whole COVID stuff that we have going on. It's free with a subscription. If you do, I think the 1-year subscription, it comes out to like $36 a month, but it will grab all, or you can allow it to grab all of your contacts from your phone, from your social media, from anywhere that you have a contact, and it will feed into this app. And what it will do is it will use analytics to determine those people that are, I think they call it in flow, that are your best possibilities for people who may want to buy or sell a home. And it has been super amazing to look at some of this. And you may find people that you're like, oh no, they're not interested, but just reach out and see how they're doing. You may be shocked that they might be looking for something else. Shane had thousands that he fed into his, and he was amazed. People, some people that he was not really connected with, but were in his contact list, that were connected with other agents, did list. And so they came up in that. And then he even had someone that he looked at that, had reached out maybe a couple of years ago, and he'd stayed in touch with them. They listed with somebody else. So it's being on that front line, because no matter how good you are at staying connected with people, people don't need you until they need you. And so it's being that Johnny on the spot. And sometimes what that takes is a little bit of intel to know when to reach out to them, because, you may be great at contacting people every so often, but maybe it's, once a quarter that you're getting to somebody, or maybe it's just, once a month that you're sending them a newsletter, but they don't feel like they can reach out to you. This gives you a way to reach out. Super cool. Highly recommend it. At the very least, sign up for it for the short term and decide what you think, because it's really, really cool.
Hey, Michelle, does that pull just the contacts from your phone, or will that pull the contacts from like Lead Street?
I think you have to maybe export Lead Street into there.
Okay.
But I mean, like everything. I mean,
Okay.
you can connect everything. I think you have to export it out of Lead Street, though. I don't think they talk to each other at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
Thank you.
they don't. It's not even connected with Bouge yet for the regions using Bouge right now. It's not even connected to that. So by the time we get Bouge, it will probably be connected, which is one nice thing that us being one of the last regions to get it, all these things that they're still working on for Bouge will all be in place by the time we're using that system. So
All right, cool.
Yeah. I mean, just think about being that person who knows when to reach out to somebody who may potentially need your services. It's creepy cool. It's just creepy cool. All right. So the last thing that I do want to mention is structurally, and I don't know, do we have structurally on there? So what structurally is, I don't see it on there. Okay, let me just tell you about it because it is something that if you do want it, we'll have to set up separately. And it is at the end of your handout if you go back and look at that. And we are running out of time. So it is structurally is your virtual assistant. And so that's why when I mentioned in Lead Street, if you want to use that virtual assistant, you need a phone number. So what you can do is you can set it up with any lead stream. So, you know, if you've got your Zillow contacts that are in there and you're requiring a phone number, structurally can start text messaging with them immediately. So there's choices as far as how quickly you set it. You know, you have structurally jump in there for you, but it's basically a bot that is starting the conversation. But it's better than so many of the bots.
Hey, Michelle.
Yes.
I think you have it right there under your Office apps at the very bottom.
Am I looking at it right at the beginning? Of course, I'm looking right at it. Thank you for that. And we'll log in. I don't know how much it's going to show in here. Usually I show a video and there is a link to a video. I'm not convinced as to how awesome a video is going to come through using Google Meet. So this will get set up. You will need to set this up with Becca because it's an individual account setup. And so if that's something that you want to do, just chatter, set up a time, and any lead stream can be set up with this. So Lead Street, Zillow, even if you've got Facebook leads that come in with chat, anything that has a phone number with a lead, structurally will start chatting with it. And you've got options, naming your bot, how quickly it jumps in. So probably the best thing with that is if that's something that you're interested in setting up, first thing to do is watch the video that's in the handout. And so you can get a better idea of what it does and then just chat Becca to set up a time. Okay, cool. Questions? I know we covered a ton of stuff. We are at the end of our time, and I know Becca's probably chomping at the bit so that we can log out of this one and log into the next one. All right. Reach out
Thanks,
if you
Michelle.
need anything. I'm going to log out and